caught my attention was that of the PDP, should I say factional chairman? I'm allowed to say that. I don't know what is the rule or what is happening right about now. But, Ewo had said that I watched that on YouTube. He had said that didn't happen. If it had happened, he would have known. And the governor cannot go begging, all by himself. He would have to carry along stakeholders because he's not just the governor. A lot of people have played certain roles, and he made it convincing, saying, there was no beg or no begging or no pleading, or there was no plead, whichever one suits the narrative. But or plea, I beg your pardon, not plead, plea. But then again, today, in his usual style, in his culture, the FCT minister decided to sit down with some journalists, some personalities on TV, and they had a conversation. It was a lengthy one, but of course, River State was part of the conversation that they had. And in that conversation, he mentioned that the FCT, that the suspended governors from the Fubara of River State came along with two governors visiting him as part of reconciliation efforts over the crisis in the state. Now, the FCT minister said this today in that media chart, responding to reports of the governor's visit. And he said the governor would have to make necessary steps to seek peace. And on the show this evening, just you and I, no guests, just you and I talking, because it concerns Rivers people. So maybe I should backpedal, or is it, how do they say it now? I should backtrack a little bit. If you go back to secondary school days when we learned commerce and economics and government and social studies in school, we were told that the government is a representation of the people. So they make economic decisions or commercial decisions or even policies and laws on behalf of the people. So the end game is the people. And all of these hullabaloo, all of these imbroglio, all of these back and forth, the end game should be the people. And that's why the people should be concerned. And in this conversation, as to who should be what or what should be done, the people should be carried along. And that's why I want to ask the question, number one question, what does such a peace mean to Rivers people? I don't think I should be talking lengthy or doing lengthy presentations this hour, but what should peace, because we have all been talking about peace, but what we failed to hop on is that there are different kinds, different types of peaceful resolutions. And this peace that we're talking about, the peace that concerns Rivers State and that now has got the governor visiting the ex-governor, now FCT minister, and now the ex-governor, now FCT minister, saying that for the reconciliation process to hold weight or become a thing, that he has to make the necessary steps to make peace.
They pushed him. Governors can push him. Where are they now? I think those governors are enjoying their own. Okay, assuming now you don't settle this problem and the state of emergency is called off, has the problem ended? No. One, assembly will still be set as they have been. They will not pass their budget. You won't get money for the federal allocation. I told him, I said, look, I don't think you have the capacity to really make this peace because it's not easy. If we are making peace, there are people are demonstrating every day. If they are making peace, there are people are busy on television insulting people. How do you feel in that case? At least you have not tried to take a step to say, look, I'm not a party to all the things that you are doing. But that's not enough to say you must take steps.
All right, so you had the FCT minister there, and maybe that's why the governor sounded the way he sounded over the weekend, on Saturday to be precise, at that event where they were paying tributes to Pa Edwin Clark. They say, hey, I know you're trying to help, I know you're trying to do all you're trying to do, but hey, do not put fuel to fire because it's going to burn even more. And when it burns, nobody wins. Nobody wins. Now, the FCT minister also reacted to the statement, that the governor said he's not is not desperate for power. His spirit has left the office. What he wants to do now is just peace of mind. Let's take a listen to that.
How do I know his spirit is not there? How will I know? Look, we are politicians. You can say something to attract public sympathy. I'm not carried away by all these spirits. It is, in reality, I don't know. How will I know that your spirit has left it? I don't know. After all, there are people who are preaching. They say they are spirit. We find out they are not in any spirit. Spirit. Have you not seen preachers who tell you, I'm led by the spirit? Who is spirit?
All right, so at this point, my conversation is simple, and I'm going to throw open the phone lines right about now. We've all been calling. I mean, I'm one advocate. For the better part of 2024, I preach peace. As a matter of fact, for every show I did at some point, I would play that "Let There Be Peace in Our Homes," and I'll play that song. Who sang it again? It just escaped my mind now. And I remember my colleagues say, you've played this song too many times. And I'll say, yeah, because I want it to stick in the heads of the politicians, in the heads of the followers, in the heads of the listeners, that we need peace in River State. But right now, while there may be respite, and like my guest in the last hour said, that yes, we may be experiencing some graveyard peace, but nobody prays for graveyard peace in their homes, in their families. So while we are looking for a sustainable peace, what is the definition? What is that peace supposed to be? Because when the use of a thing or the purpose or the value of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And if you do not know the direction you're traveling to, you may end up being lost and travel lost for so many years. And before you realize it, so much damage has been done. So we want to have this conversation. Peace by Onyeka Owenu. Thank you very much. I don't know. Maybe it's because my body clock is trying to adjust to daytime radio. But yeah, I'm forgetful on the show a lot today. Anyways, apologies for that. But let's go to the phone lines. 18 minutes gone past 5. Let's get your views. We're starting to take your views on these issues. Peace. Do the right thing, the FCT minister says. But what really is the right thing? Because the end game is supposed to be the people. So how do they fight all of these fights to ensure that the people are the end game and the people are the beneficiaries of these fights, these political fights, and the clash of egos and all of that stuff? Right. So the phone numbers are the same, but if you're a first timer, 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. WhatsApp number 0809 0306416. Yeah, so Let There Be Peace was sung by late Onyeka Owenu. Thank you very much. I've seen that. This one says, the declaration, where is it now? Where's the message? Taken by events. Let's see. They said the declaration of one of those, The declaration is one of those bone eaten by Tinubu to swallow. It is difficult pill. It is difficult. We made a prayer that they will make a mistake, they won't recover. So Wike will always put away as not a major corporate. I don't get. I think I've moved on from that. And this one is interesting. A message. He said, Rogers Okabie from Ora Valley community says, Fubara, please give your heart to Jesus Christ and forget politics. Interesting. Emeka is calling from Elele. Emeka, welcome. Straight to the point. Let's get your thoughts and let's talk for development.
My dear brother.
Yeah.
Kala.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes, my home contribution is very straight. In every organization, in every country or a state, we need peace.
Okay. But what kind of peace is the question?
Very important. Without peace and unity, a state cannot move forward. That is what we are praying now. Is peace.
But what kind of peace? That's what I'm asking. What kind of peace? We need to dig deeper. What kind of peace do we need in River State? Political peace that favors the political actors? Sorry?
To return Governor Fubara back. That is our peace, the peace we are looking for.
But if it's returned after negotiating with the FCT minister, is that what you want? That's the question.
Yes, that's what we want.
Okay.
But we have never heard from the governor Fubara whether he really went to and see the FCT minister.
All right.
We are just hearing from
but do you think the FCT minister will lie?
That Fubara came with other governors to see him.
Okay.
We never heard from Fubara.
Okay.
He said this thing on because we want to hear from Fubara.
All right.
What we need is peace.
All right, Emeka, thank you. What we need is peace, you say. But I've got to run quickly. I've got Chibike from Onelga. Chibike, welcome. Quickly, straight to the point. What is on your mind, I'd like to hear?
I'm calling from Onelga.
Sorry, your name is?
There is a parable that says, if a wrestler sees somebody that he will throw down, his posing will be too much. A wrestler, Okoko, when he sees somebody that he will wrestle and fall down, he will be, moving around the whole playground like an elephant. So what am I trying to say? The problem in River State is caused by our past governors.
So, see, we've gone past what the problem is. We're talking peace. We've gone past that, really.
Now,
what kind of peace do we desire?
Now the peace, he has succeeded in causing state of emergency in River State. There was no killing in River State.
Can we go straight to the point, please?
Nobody died in Onega. Nobody died in Ahuda West. Nobody died in Ahuda East. Nobody died in Abuadua. River State was in peace. Now he wants peace. He wants his governor to come and the governor has went to him. What is the problem? He is not doing the governor. He's more or less doing River State in general.
You have still not answered my question. So
Chibike, tomorrow is another day.
All right, Chibike, I've got to move on. I've got Lugaman from HA. Lugaman, what is on your mind? Straight to the answer for the question I've asked. What kind of peace do you think we need in River State? Let's not talk about where the problem came from. We already talked about that over the months.
Canada.
Yeah.
I still want to greet you once again.
All right.
You see, this is why we have been saying it on radio every day by day. We have been vindicated. So, the minister is the one responsible for all these crises in the state. Then which joy is he deriving from all these things? Look at his statement. So, which means he's still happy for another man, Cross River, man handling the affairs of River State in this kind of democratic system of government that we're operating. Child, it's unfortunate. The same man.
So look, man, are you going to answer my question or are you going to beat? Anyways, I'm going to move on. So for everybody who calls in to beat around the bush, I'm going to move on because the question is simple. We're not talking about who's the problem of River State. I don't think I have the capacity to talk about who the problem is. I also might just be the problem, right? But let's go for a commercial. When we return, we'll talk some more. Please do stay tuned. efforts. Court adjourns hearing on suit challenging Rivers emergency rule. Pro-Fubara women group to suspend demonstrations over emergency rule. Police intensify efforts to rescue kidnapped boat passengers. Rivers police said Job Court clash was not officially reported. Monarch cries out over increased others attacks in HA, Rivers State. JAM orders review of 2025 UTME after outrage and complaints. EFCC to question Niger Delta Chieftain Tompolo over alleged Naira abuse. On the foreign scene, first white South Africans fly to US under Trump refugee plan. Details in the 6 p.m. bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. All right, so let's go back now to the conversation for the hour. And of course, it's my pleasure, always is my pleasure having you on the other side of the radio. If you're joining us, 5:32 p.m. is the time. I am Kaladako Rubatabo, 92.3 Nigerian Info is the frequency, and it's good to have you once again. So we're talking peace. And I did say, and I mentioned, that the FCT minister had said, see, yes, the governor had come to reconcile, but there's still something he's got to do to ensure that there is that peace that we're all looking for. And he said that the governor must carry along all the other stakeholders, he says, and it includes the supporters. And maybe that is why the supporters, what do you call them now? The governor told the supporters not to continue to fuel the crisis, he said. Remember that. So I want to get your thoughts. What kind of peace do we need in Rivers State? Because if there are negotiations between the warring parties, then it means that maybe the people who are supposedly the end game are no longer the end game. So what are your thoughts? To the phone line, 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. Now for WhatsApp number, or rather WhatsApp message, the WhatsApp number is 0809 0306416. The peace we need in Rivers State is a genuine one. The suspended governor should